Hey everybody, welcome back into another fantastic episode of I35 Live. We appreciate you joining us. My name is Matt, as always. With me is my friend Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
And boy, do we have a fun one in store for y'all today. We are 2 weeks away from week 0 and the start of the college football season. So we are fixing to talk at length about the upcoming college football season. We have a ton of stuff to get into. And right before we do that, I just want to say, as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Leave comments down below what you like, what you don't like. It really does help us write these episodes, so we really do appreciate it. Ryan, it is almost time.
It's almost time. Yeah, we're going to be talking a lot here. If you got a nice long road trip, you might want to save it for that because buckle in, buckle up. We're about to take us on a ride of a nice, fun preview.
Oh, and we had fun writing this episode, doing all of this prep work to be able to talk about all this, because this is, I'm just going to be honest, this is our bread and butter. College football is our bread and butter. It is the thing that we have probably the most interest in, probably the most knowledge about, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to go through the Power 4 conferences to start. We have, in detail, gone schedule by schedule for every member of the Power 4 conferences, and we're going to freaking talk about it. Let's go east to west. You start with the ACC?
Yeah, I think this is a 1 to 2 team league when it comes to the playoff. It is the worst of the Power 4 teams. I think I'm confident enough to say. The top 2 teams here should be no surprise. Maybe the second team could be a little bit of surprise, but the best team that will win the conference, barring some stupidity that the ACC creates for itself like they did last year, I firmly believe it will sound chalk, but I firmly believe they will be the winners of the ACC. And one thing of note, I think everyone should realize, and especially from last year, is these predictions that come up, especially when it comes to playoff, Heisman, all these things, top quarterbacks list. It's a crapshoot at this point.
Oh, it's a freaking guessing game.
It is. It's not like it was in the 14 playoff where you could confidently say 6 teams and the 4 of them will be right every single year. We just had Indiana win the national championship.
Mind you, JMU was in that playoff.
JMU and Tulane. Texas, the number one team coming into the year, was unranked by middle of the year?
It was middle of the year, and then I think we came back after that nonsense with the overtime against Mississippi State and Kentucky.
Either way, it was completely insane. I mean, for God's sakes, Duke won the ACC. Indiana, as I mentioned previously, after a 10-2 season the year prior, no one really gave them a chance, and then they just went undefeated.
And I think a lot of that you have to attribute to SIG, right? And I'm not. That's not me trying to take away anything from the players, but Curt Cignetti's he's a guy. He's the guy. He wins. Google him.
We got a lot of coaches that are talking that way too to start the year, which we'll touch on as we get towards the SEC.
I was going to say it better not be coaches in the ACC. There's one coach in particular I'm thinking of in the ACC that better not be talking like that.
No, that team will be down like they've been the past couple years, which, by the way, we'll just go ahead and dive into the ACC here, and we're talking about that one team, Clemson. The coaches poll came out, and they were ranked 23rd.
False.
It just makes no sense, and we got to get rid of these dumb preseason polls, especially the coaches poll. I mean, you can tell Indiana, the national champion, was ranked 6th. Like, how on earth can you put that team any lower than 4? In my opinion, I know it's a 2 drop, but that just seems incredibly disrespectful. And it's clear that a bunch of SEC teams got butthurt after hearing his comments, and also just butthurt the fact that Big Ten has taken their lunch money.
They have. They really have. I was going to come up with another metaphor, but you kind of hit the nail on the head. They have taken their lunch money. They just have. So, why don't we start? Why don't we count down?
Okay.
Why don't you go just like however we have the league, right? Why don't you go? There's 16, 14 teams in the ACC.
There are, not counting Notre Dame, which people can throw them in there if they want, 16 teams.
Okay, so why don't we start at 16?
17, excuse me.
Of course, the ACC has an odd number of teams in their conference.
Yeah, it's a joke of a conference.
Okay. Let's start with 17, and then we'll go down into who you have at 1.
So, I'm just going to group these last 3 in here because you can throw them all in. They're all equally bad. I mean, if you're part of the Sickos committee like myself, you might tune in to watch them, especially a week 0 for this one team here. Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah.
There's not much to talk about there. They might beat Hawaii or lose to them like they did last year. Again, it's a week 0. Got nothing else to do in the middle of a Saturday night in August. Yeah, god awful.
That kickoff's what? 7, 6?
Maybe it's in Palo Alto,
so late,
cool, late game. Boston College. This might be the most miserable team, I think, because 1, no one really cares. 2, your 2 coaches are Bill O'Brien and Bobby Petrino. 2 of the most hateable people I can think of. Like, you must really, really want to play football if you're willing to deal with those 2 guys, especially on offense.
Okay, side note. Who was worse? Boston College Bill O'Brien or Houston Texans Bill O'Brien?
Boston College one is still left to see. I mean, they won 2 games last year. The very first game of the year and the very last game of the year.
Sick. They bookended it.
Yep.
They showed up for the first class and they showed up for the final.
Yeah. I have them going absolutely winless in the conference. So, yeah, they're a joke.
Total record of what?
1 and 12, 1 and 11.
1 and 11. Okay.
They play the powerhouse just north of the Maine. So,
please tell me their school mascot's a lobster.
They're not. I can look this up later. Again, powerhouse Maine. It should be, but it's not.
Dang.
Right behind them, Syracuse.
No love for the orange, huh?
Nah, with Steve Angeli healthy, they beat Clemson last year.
Okay, but is that statement doesn't hold what it did 10 years ago?
It doesn't. However, from where Clemson is to where Syracuse is still god awful.
Yeah. Okay.
Their wins last year were UConn, Colgate, and Clemson.
The toothpaste?
The lacrosse. They're good at lacrosse.
Okay.
I don't know why. I know that. I'm going to follow it up with the comedy that was North Carolina last year. They're still going to be bad. I think they're going to be 1 game worse. It's sad to watch. Not even the Sickos committee would be willing to watch that.
Do they win in Dublin, though?
Not a shot in hell.
Not even like a little bit?
No, not even a little bit. No. Another team I'm very low on, and this will be my first coach fired. The vibes are just incredibly, incredibly low. Tallahassee, Florida State.
Oh, you remember when they went undefeated and then cry all off season, and then they just got absolutely worked.
Yeah, they went 2-10.
Yeah,
or 3-9, something like that. Yeah, it was a very, very, very funny thing to watch. I don't think these guys really want to play for Mike Norvell. I think the vibes are incredibly down, which sucks because Deuce Robinson is an absolute treat to watch, and will be a really great pro. But yeah, I'm not high on them at all. I think the best thing for them is to ditch their coach by the time they play Miami.
I was just fixing to ask, do you think this is like, is it hot seat where the coach gets the full season, or is Norvell gone halfway through?
I think you have to get rid of him halfway through. I think it's going to be so bad. Because, I mean, remember how hot they started last year? I mean, you beat Alabama at home.
And convincingly.
Like, Alabama thought they could just stroll in there, and they played soft. They weren't ready for it, and then everything just went downhill.
They got dog walked.
Yeah, Florida State won their first 3 games, went on a 4 or 5 game losing skid, and only won 2 games after that for the rest of the year. Not good. Not good. At all.
No, it's not.
I'm going to lump these in here. Again, this is a really bad conference. It's the who cares conference.
For sure. And so far, and I'm sure you could probably add another 3 teams to the teams you've already said. Mm-hmm. I understand the lumping because you could number them right now 10 through 17, and all of those teams are still going to be in that grouping at the end of the year. You just don't know what order they're going to be in.
Exactly. Like, you can put the NC State Wolfpack, who do have a really good quarterback, CJ Bailey, but what else do you have to go around them? Like, these teams will make a bowl, but it's just not going to be fun to watch. The reigning champion Duke Blue Devils are right there in there for me. You have a team like Wake Forest, who made a bowl game last year. I don't really see them having a good season this year. I mean, relative. You get Gio Lopez, who was god-awful in North Carolina. Maybe a change of scenery would help him. Having a Jake Dickett as their coach, which, I mean, has a somewhat of a winning record at Wake Forest, but again, it's Wake Forest. Again, these teams are not going to be worth watching unless you're part of some sort of sickos committee.
Can I be so honest for like half a second? I forget Wake Forest exists until like a random point guard gets hot for them in March Madness. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Wake Forest. And then that's the only time I think about them.
Quick trivia, where is Wake Forest located?
Well, obviously the ACC, you have to think coastal, but I don't think this state has a coastline. Okay, I'll give you 2. You tell me if I'm right on either one of them. I'm going to say either somewhere randomly in Tennessee or somewhere randomly in like North Carolina.
North Carolina. Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
No. Never would have guessed that.
You're welcome, trivia nerds. All right. The next group of teams I have in here are all teams that I can see winning 10 games.
Okay.
But the 10 wins they have are going to be so irrelevant because their conference is so bad that it won't really make a dent when it comes to the college football committee. Exactly.
Okay.
But I can also see them fighting for 6-6.
Oh.
So these teams include Virginia Cavaliers, who Bo Prabula last year, when he was healthy for Missouri, was pretty good. Put him on a team that, again, was pretty close to winning an ACC championship. Can't complain there.
You know, I don't have beef with Virginia. So anytime Virginia's like a little good, I'm like, oh, like that's sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Pitt, I have them strangely, just how their schedule works out, at 10-2.
I can see that.
I can see it that way.
Their two losses are what? Miami and
Louisville.
Yeah, I can see that.
As I mentioned, like, you can put Georgia Tech in there. I mean, losing some players that they had last year, losing a veteran quarterback to the NFL draft. That's going to be tough for them to make up for. But their projected starting quarterback has a Heisman Trophy roots. Alberto Mendoza.
Oh, is that Mandalorian's brother?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So
also sick nickname that he has.
It really is. It really is. I forgot to mention. How could I forget my favorite team here? As oh God, who cares about them? Clemson.
The Rock worshippers, and I'm not talking about Dwayne Johnson.
No, I don't know which one's worse, to be honest.
It's just the rock they have on the hill that they hit when they run down. That's clearly worse.
I don't know. What's your take on the Rock?
Which rock?
The one that they touch.
It
doesn't matter what you think. Sorry, that's a Rock reference.
No, that's valid. That's also a little inside joke. Ryan and I would say Ryan and I say things and give random opinions sometimes in life, and Ryan likes to cut me off with that, and I fall for it every single time. You said it's a random rock once from like Arizona.
No, it's from Death Valley in California. They stole a rock from Death Valley. That's what they call it, Death Valley.
The fake Death Valley.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, next group of teams are all teams that I think can have a legit chance of playing Miami to get their butts kicked.
Okay.
I have a lot of people are high on Louisville.
Louisville will be good.
Yes.
Louisville will be good.
Lincoln Kyan-Holtz is everyone's dark horse to be very good, which, I mean, sitting behind pretty good Ohio State quarterbacks for a while. However, not being able to really even compete and take over I don't know. If you can't really take over and win there, I don't know how well you're going to do. But again, it's the ACC.
Well, but I will challenge that just a touch, because what you just described was Quinn Ewers for Texas. And he sat behind some quarterbacks at Ohio State and then came to Texas. And yes, he had to get in a little better shape and had a couple of years, but he was successful. But to your point as well, I completely understand. You sit. Like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere where I can start. It's like, okay, great. But the caliber of what's going to be around you then is going to lessen very much.
Exactly. So, team to look out for. I think everyone's fun choice that if it's not Miami, maybe Louisville. Other teams include, for me, which a team I'm very high on because I'm going to love this new coach, Cal Bears.
Okay, walk me through it.
Tosh Lapoy is going to be their new head coach. He is a defensive dog. He comes from the Nick Saban tree. He was the defensive coordinator for Oregon, who is probably returning the most talented defense in all of college football.
Oregon's going to be so good. We're going to get into that, but
so I'm very high on the energy and the level of toughness that he's going to bring there. Also, Jaron Kawhi Sagapolutelli.
Was that one name?
Yes. Jaron Kawhi Sagapolutelli. I'm going to get that right by the end of the year.
Okay.
Because we're going to be saying this man's name a lot. He's going to be a beast in that conference.
Beast enough to develop a nickname by week 3?
JES. Just call him JES. I'm going to try to learn his real name because I'm a man of character and that's his God-given name. So I'm going to say his God-given name because he deserves it, because he's going to be incredible. He was good last year. Again, made a bowl game at Cal. Pretty good. I think they're going to take a step further and really compete in this conference.
Okay.
The other team that I have in other two teams, and this is the team for me that has the best chance to go and play Miami, and that's the SMU Mustangs. Brett Lashley said it himself. This is his most talented team he's ever had at SMU. You get another year of Kevin Jennings, who was hurt last year, couldn't really run very much. This year, they're going to let him run. They're going to let him fly. I'm pretty high on them. I mean, their first test is Florida State. Go in there, take care of business, and show everyone who's boss.
SMU's another one of those teams where I'm just like, when they're good, I'm like, good for them.
Yeah. And and you got all the money in the world to bring in some top talent.
Literally all of the money in the world.
And the last team I have, you notice I didn't mention a particular team.
I know.
The Virginia Tech Hokies. You get a brand new coach who would honestly is perfect for where he's at, because the expectations there are not crazy unrealistic as they are in Happy Valley.
Okay.
James Franklin is bringing basically everybody from Penn State over there, which is, I mean, it's the norm when you bring in a new staff.
True.
Even Grunkmeyer. I mean, he did a decent enough job to get them into bowl game shape last year.
Yeah.
They also retain the coach that they fired. Brent Pry is their defensive coordinator. How rare is it for you to fire a coach and then still keep him on the staff?
How rare is it for that coach to swallow their pride and be like, I wasn't good enough to be the head guy, but this defense is fixing to be the best defense you've ever seen?
I like it because you get the new guys coming in who then don't have to deal with the major conflict of guys who were there from the previous regime, because that previous regime is still kind of there.
Can I give you a little art imitates life here? It's very Remember the Titans coded.
I bet you James Franklin sits there and cries every time he watches Remember the Titans, but he also watches it like 5 times a day, thinking he is Denzel Washington.
Okay, he's not Denzel Washington, but I just think that's kind of cool, because I'm almost like 95% sure that movie takes place in Virginia.
Oh, I never knew that.
Well, because don't they go to where do they go for training camp? It's like Gettysburg College.
Isn't Gettysburg in Pennsylvania?
Is it?
Comment in the YouTube comments where this all sets up. I'm not going to look it up right now.
You're not? Okay.
No. So, those, I mean, that's a quick rundown of the worst conference in major college football. And that all leads us to the winner of this conference, and that's the Miami Hurricanes.
Oh, well, I mean, you have, what is it? Mario Cristobal is doing insane things down there, right?
You're keeping all your talent and adding Darian Mensah.
I was going to say, you're bringing in Darian Mensah from Duke.
And you're bringing back Mark Fletcher, who was a beast in the playoff.
Yeah.
Malachi Toney, who's the most electric player in college football.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I mean, we can just go down the list of all these great players. Muhammad Toure, senior linebacker, is a big part of that team from last year. Justin Scott's going to be a junior. Just absolute. The production they're bringing back is going to be incredible.
So it's basically not the ACC. It's Miami and it's 16 little brothers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Any
do you think
thoughts?
let me ask you this. Do you think in the ACC championship against Miami, do you think a legitimate challenger emerges, or does Miami steamroll through the championship?
I think rationally they steamroll. However, Miami has done some dumb stuff.
That is true.
Let's not forget they had every chance to go and not make the ACC championship a big deal. They stumbled.
True.
In the middle of the season.
They did. You are correct.
They started off hot and then they stumbled. They made a fool of themselves, especially losing at SMU. Not the best version of SMU.
Correct.
But again, this is also a conference that loves to get in its own way.
They do.
It's not a cannibalistic conference like the Big 12 is. It is or how the Big 12 used to be. This is very much I shoot myself in the foot, and then the team I play gets on their high horse and then shoots themselves in the foot. Like it's not anything where anyone can beat anyone at any time. It's who's gonna lose less.
It's like when you were at recess with your friends and you would all have like a little like oh, we're gonna race from like this end of the basketball court to the other end, and some kid kind of gets out in front and trips and falls, and then
Yes.
the next kid gets out in front and he trips and falls, and then the next kid gets out in front and he trips and falls.
If anyone wants a good laugh, go find, I believe it's 2024 Georgia Tech versus Miami. All Miami had to do was kneel the ball, but Mario Cristobal decided to run the ball, and the running back fumbles, and then Georgia Tech goes with 20 seconds left and wins. Like, that's the kind of stumbling. Like, SMU, all they had to do was beat Cal, and they were going to win the ACC. And they lost.
Yeah.
This is the conference where that is the conference in a nutshell.
It's the conference of who cares.
It is.
It's plain and simple. It's the conference of who cares. You want to stop talking about them?
Oh, more than anything.
Any final thoughts on Dabo since we're talking about him? Before we stop talking about him?
It's going to be so funny to watch the excuses he makes when his least talented team he's had in a very long time loses spectacularly. Because, again, he had all the returning talent last year. All of them made it to the NFL.
They lose week 1.
1,000%.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay. You want to move on? So if we're going east-west, I guess now you want to go north or south. You want to go Big Ten? You want to go SEC?
Let's switch it up. Let's go Big Ten.
Okay, we can go Big Ten. Did quite a bit of research. Wanted to do the Big Ten justice, right? They have owned college football for a number of years now. It's been what, 3?
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
So
And 3 different teams in a row.
true. So I mean, I wanted to do them justice. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna kind of go top to or bottom to top, and start with the teams that I don't think are gonna do very well. So the team that I think is gonna do the worst in the Big Ten is Purdue.
Have we spoken yet about what the AD said when he got hired last week?
No.
This man tried to do his best Signetti impression and said verbatim, the whole goal of Purdue, when you go and play for Purdue, is to win national championships. If you don't want to win a national championship, go to Indiana.
Like the same Indiana that just won the national championship.
All right. The same Indiana that's hung 62 years in a row on you. Again, I've said it in previous podcasts. They're the A&M of the Midwest. Dorks.
Yeah, so I have them in last place. I have them at 2-10.
2? Who are their wins?
Indiana State.
Okay, Terre Haute.
And a random win against Maryland.
I don't hate that. Maybe when I don't want to spend too much time on Maryland, but I mean,
that's okay. We're gonna get to Maryland.
Teams.
We're gonna get to Maryland. The back half of the Big Ten is, we could have put it in a grouping. They're just super weird teams. You don't know what's going to happen. You know that they are only fighting for bowl games, right? You don't know if they're going to make a bowl game or not, if they're going to hit that 6th win. So there's 18 teams, right? So I have Purdue 18th. I have Michigan State at 17th at 3-9.
Even with Fitzgerald coming back to coaching?
Yes.
Okay.
I have them wins against Toledo and Eastern Michigan and Northwestern.
I think Toledo might beat them.
Do you think?
Toledo beat Mississippi State. I mean, a bad Mississippi State, but like they have a history of beating power teams. Like they're not a bad MAC team.
I don't think they're a bad MAC team. I think that Michigan State is one of those Big Ten teams that like they have the "it's a new season" glasses or goggles on, and so they get super hyped. And so like the production that a coach tries to pull out of his team to like win the Big Ten championship, get into the quarterfinal, like win the national championship, that gets pulled out of them immediately. And so for week one, possibly week 1 and week 2, you're like, oh, Michigan State. And then they go on a run of 4 losses to Notre Dame, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Illinois. And they're 2-4. They beat Northwestern, and you go, oh, good for them. And then they lose the rest of their games. So, I mean, yes, he's coming back to coaching. I don't think it's going to make the difference people think it's going to make.
Do you think like 4 or 5, if they give him 3, 4 or 5 years?
I think he can get there.
Okay.
I absolutely like,
because this is a guy who took Northwestern to multiple Big Ten championship games.
No, I completely agree. You've got to have time. It's not like even Sig took 2 years.
That's pretty quick.
It is quick.
I mean, his first year, again, and that's the thing, that when we talk about this kind of stuff being a crapshoot now, Indiana's flipped everything. This was the worst team in all of major college football
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
And historically. And he's made them a national champion. So anything is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. At 16th, I have Northwestern. I've been 4-8. The reason I have them at 16 is because I think they are going to lose to too many. I think they're going to have a worse Big Ten record than some other schools. I have them beating South Dakota State, Colorado, Ball State, and then Rutgers. But they're not beating Indiana, Penn State, Michigan State, Oregon, Iowa, Ohio State, Minnesota, or Illinois.
Okay.
So that's Northwestern. Then at 15, I have, here's your weird team, Maryland. I have them also at 4-8. I think, so these first 2 wins, this first school, I don't even know that this was a school. They're going to beat Hampton, who they play in week 1.
Gross.
Yep. And then I think they beat UConn.
But hey, again, we schedule these teams so that way you get a better chance of making the playoff.
Of course.
Maryland.
Yes, Maryland.
Okay.
Maryland. They lose to Virginia Tech.
Yes.
I think this super weird Maryland team beats UCLA and then goes on a string of 5 losses to Nebraska, Ohio State, Illinois, Purdue, and another team that I don't have written down. And then I think this super weird Maryland team beats Wisconsin.
Do you think Wisconsin going to be that down bad by the end of the year?
No.
Or is it just like, what the hell happened here?
No. Okay. What I think's going to happen is I think it's more of like a trap game. So okay. I'll explain that in a second. And then they lose to USC and Penn State to end the year. At 14, I have Rutgers. I have them at 5-7 actually. UMass and Boston College are wins. I think Howard's a win. I do think they beat Maryland. And then they lose until the last game of the season, where I think they beat Michigan State.
So the Shiano man keeps his job.
Yeah. Then at 13, I have UCLA, also 5-7. Their wins, I'm giving them San Diego State, Purdue, Michigan State, Nevada, and I actually have them beating Illinois.
I think they're going to be actually not trash this year because Bob Chesney coming in after just taking JMU to the playoff, I think he's going to be a great addition out there in Pasadena.
Do you think better than my 5-7?
I would need to check and see what their win total is real quick.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah,
I can pull
absolutely.
that up. Keep going.
So then at 12, I have Minnesota. I have them also at 5-7. Wins against Eastern Illinois, Akron, Purdue, Northwestern, and UCLA.
So their win total, by the way, is 4.5.
I have them at 5-7.
That's fine. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that's Minnesota. And then we go to Washington.
That is a very interesting team there because does Fish want to be the coach there?
Well, so let me tell you how I have their schedule shaking out, and you tell me what you think is going to happen at the end of the year, because I have them at 7-5. Okay. More importantly, I have them at 6-1 going into their bye. So I have them beating Washington State, Utah State, Eastern Washington, and Minnesota.
God, what an easy schedule.
All of those are at home, too.
That is an easy schedule.
I have them going to USC and losing. I have them beating Iowa, beating Purdue. They go into their bye week. They come off their bye week, and I have them going 1-4. Lose to Nebraska, lose to Penn State, beat Michigan State, lose to Indiana, lose to Oregon. Absolute gauntlet at the end of the season.
At the end of the year, yeah. They have a very easy front-loaded schedule. Their win total is 7.5, so slight boost to the under there.
Yeah.
You can talk me into them beating Nebraska. Yeah, their quarterback came back, kind of doesn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
But kind of was forced to stay there.
True.
I'm very interested to see what that dynamic looks like in Seattle.
Agree. Okay, so number 10, I have Wisconsin. So you asked me earlier when we were talking about Maryland. Here's where I get to this trap game. I have Wisconsin at 7-5. Right?
Way over their win total.
Totally agree. I am kind of high on Wisconsin because of how their schedule shakes out. So they're going to start 0-1 because they're going to lose to Notre Dame week 1. They beat Western Illinois. They beat Eastern Michigan. They have to go to Happy Valley. I think they lose to Penn State.
I do too.
And then I think they beat Michigan State at home going into their bye. So they're 3-2 going into their bye. I think they beat UCLA. USC and Iowa, I think they lose both. Here's where this trap game shows up. They play Rutgers at home. I think they demolish Rutgers, sitting at 5-4. Think, oh, we got this. We're gonna run the gauntlet on the rest of our schedule. Take their foot off of the gas and lose to Maryland. And then I think they beat Purdue and Minnesota.
This is one of the easy schedules I've outside of, you said they play USC and Iowa and Notre Dame.
They play USC, Iowa, Notre Dame, and Penn State.
Outside of those 4 games, that's the easiest schedule I've ever seen. So realistically, 8-4 is not...
You could, but I put that trap game in there, so I have them at 7-5. You could convince me...
Wow, that's an easy schedule.
You could convince me they win the back 4. And they beat Maryland, so they go Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, Minnesota, and they win all 4. They go 8-4. You could convince me of that.
Yeah, this sounds like a team that is a product of their schedule.
I agree. There's a worse one in the Big Ten, just so you know, once we get there.
Is it Penn State?
It is Penn State, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Number 9, I have Illinois. I have them also at 7-5. So I actually have them 4-2 going into their bye.
Okay.
So they open against UAB, dub.
Yeah.
I have them losing to Duke.
I did too. Yeah.
They beat Southern Illinois or South Illinois. They lose to Ohio State. And then they beat Purdue and Michigan. They go into their bye. The back half after their bye, I have them going 3-3. They lose at home against Oregon. They beat Maryland, lose to Nebraska and UCLA, and then they beat Iowa and Northwestern.
Okay. I mean, again, Brett Bielema, they've been good the last couple of years too. I mean, Brett Bielema is very much a let's just beat them to death with.
Right.
But also they had Luke Altmaier there to help with the passing game.
They did.
What they're going to look like this year is going to, I mean, you'd think they'd stay the same, but not having that veteran quarterback presence, what's that going to look like? Yeah, I mean, you can't, Big Ten Brett Bielema, you can't count him out.
So 7-5. What's their win total?
Their win total is 8.5.
So I'm a game and a half under. Okay. So coming in at 8, this is a team that I am high on. You're probably going to tell me that I'm crazy, but it's Nebraska.
You are crazy.
So I have Nebraska at 8-4. And not only do I have them at 8-4, I have them starting the year at 5-0.
Here's the thing. I'm saying you're crazy. Looking at it though, their over/unders 7.5.
Okay.
With a harder schedule. So maybe again, I'm calling you crazy, but I know I'm probably going to be wrong about a bunch of things. This might be one of them.
Maybe Matt Rule's rule of 3 takes 4 years. I don't know. But so here's why I have them starting 5-0. Here's their first 5 games. Home against Ohio, home against Bowling Green, home against North Dakota, at Michigan State, and home against Maryland.
Yeah, that's 5-0.
And then they have to play Indiana at home. I have that as a loss. They have to go to Oregon, and I think they are going to be absolutely killed.
Yeah, I think Dylan Raiola is going to get them all pretty hyped up to beat that.
Yeah.
Beat the Cornhuskers.
Yeah. So, but then after that, they have their breaks beat off of them. They go to their bye week. Then they come out of their bye week. They're home against Washington. I have that as a dub. Illinois and Rutgers, I have those as dubs. They have Ohio State at home, but they are still going to lose dramatically. It's not going to be dramatic. And then they have to go to Iowa at the end of the year. I think they lose to Iowa. I've got them at 8-4.
Yeah. I mean, you say dramatically, but a couple years ago, they kind of had Ohio State on the ropes, and that team won the national championship at home. I mean, again, we're picking things apart here. Again,
now,
they still
I will
lost.
Say, in Lincoln, it's a tough place to play.
It is. I think they're going to be I think their pride's been hurt, especially since the guy that they thought was, this homegrown, not homegrown, but like has ties to that school, just left
Mahomes
without really
Jr.
giving them much to work with, and also disrespecting them on the way out. I can see that. I mean, you're talking me into it. I mean, I still think it's crazy. Again, it's also Nebraska. Which is crazy to think, though, that they fired Bo Pelini because 9-3 just wasn't to their standard, and now 8-4 might be the best thing that's happened.
I was going to say it might be their ceiling this year.
Yeah,
but I do actually think their ceiling is 9 wins. I do think they could steal one, and if they're gonna steal one, it's gonna be against Iowa.
Yeah, it's also Iowa.
Speaking of Iowa, I have them at number 7. I also have them at 8-4.
That is right where they should be.
I have them 3-3 going into their bye, and then their back half is just, I think they're going to almost run the table. So home against Northern Illinois or North Illinois, home against Iowa State, and then home against Northern Iowa, 3 dubs. Then they go to Michigan, Ohio State at home, and to Washington, 3 losses. They have their bye week. Then Minnesota, Wisconsin, Northwestern, Purdue, they all win. I think they lose at Illinois, and then they beat Nebraska the last game of the season.
Yeah. They're going to be the same team they've been for the last, 25 years that he's 27 years that Kirk Ferentz has been there. They're going to absolutely have a unbelievable offensive line, unbelievable defense, unbelievable special teams. Won't score more than 25 points a game, but again, that's going to get you a win 8 times a year.
So here's where you're probably going to actually think I'm just stupid. At 6, I have Indiana. I have them going 9-3.
Okay.
I have their 3 losses: Ohio State, at Michigan, and USC.
We can talk about the Michigan thing. They're returning so much production from a national champion. 2 of those guys weren't even playing in the national championship game.
I know.
And they're getting Hoover from TCU as their quarterback.
Listen, I can easily be talked into 11-1. Because you could tell me that they're going to go into the big house and beat the brakes off of Michigan, and then they're going to beat USC at home, and I would believe you. I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State in the middle of the season. Do not. I see the wheels spinning in your head. Do not sit there and tell me you think they're going to go undefeated again.
I don't think they're going to go undefeated again. I can see them, again, I can see anybody losing to Ohio State. I also said that when they played them in the Big Ten championship game, and they absolutely physically beat them around.
True.
I think they could probably do that again against Ohio State. I also think that one of the teams that you said can beat them, I think that might be their only loss on their schedule, and that's USC.
Okay. Well, speaking of USC, I have them at number 5. I have them also going at 9-3. Their 3 losses are Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, that very well might be the case. I think I am the highest on USC that I've ever been.
Really?
I think they have a Heisman caliber quarterback. I think some of the people that they brought into their Luke Waffle's going to be an absolute day one starter as a freshman. Gary Patterson running that defense.
I do like Gary Patterson running that defense. That is, I have mad respect for Gary Patterson for what he did at TCU for a number of years. So I do like him running that defense.
I just think this USC team is his best one since 2022 when they had Zach Branch, Corey Lane, Heisman Trophy winning Caleb Williams. They walked into Notre Dame, or Notre Dame went to South Central, and they just went and took care of business. I do fully believe. I am very, very high on USC, so much so that I have them making the playoff. I do. And also, I mean, you're getting a guy, what is his name here? I'm pulling up Mark Bowman as a freshman tight end. Already, he's 6'4", 225.
As a freshman?
As a freshman.
Whoa!
As a freshman tight end. And he's projected to be a day one starter. Also, you have a very veteran-laden offensive line. All 5 of them returning back as starters. I'm really high on this team. I really am.
So I hear you. I still have them at 9-3. I could be talked into 10-2. I could see them going into Happy Valley and maybe doing something there. I don't think they beat Oregon or Ohio State.
Yeah, I think I don't see them beating Oregon. Ohio State could be a fun one.
Oh, it very well could be, especially because it's in South Central.
Ohio State has to go 2 time zones.
Yep. So
3 time zones.
Are they in Eastern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ohio's Eastern. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought Western Ohio was in.
No.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let me go to number 4, which is a team I am high on. That is Michigan. I am so high on Michigan that I think they're gonna start 9-0.
Talk me through it.
At home, Western Michigan.
Gross.
Yep. At home, Oklahoma. Now I understand that game could go either way. But I think in the big house, Ann Arbor Magic, I think something happens, not to mention we don't know what John Mateer we're going to get.
I agree to that point. But we know what that defense is going to look like. And
True.
We know what Bryce Underwood looks like against that same defense last year.
But you have another year older Bryce Underwood. I'm not saying that he's going to be a Heisman caliber quarterback. I am going to say he is seeing the same defense that he can go back and watch film and see exactly what he did wrong last year. So I am saying if there is preparedness taken and a sense of urgency, I'm saying it could happen.
You talked me into Nebraska. I think this is one team and game you're not going to be able to talk me into.
And that's fine.
Yeah, like this is going to be one week 2 that we are going to be on opposite sides of.
Probably.
Yeah. Unfortunately, again, I'm saying this as a fan of just the state of Texas and a Cowboy diehard alum. I'm very high on OU this year.
And OU could go in there and wipe the floor with them. But I choose to see it from the other side.
That's fair.
So after that,
you're wrong, but it's fair.
Home against UTEP.
Gross.
Home against Iowa. They go to Minnesota. Then they have their bye.
Stop right there.
Okay.
Have you mentioned Minnesota at all this entire time?
Yeah. I had them at 12.
Oh, okay.
12th place, 5-7. They win Eastern Illinois, Akron, Purdue.
I missed Minnesota completely.
You missed Minnesota. Okay, here's why you missed Minnesota. Because one of the wins I gave Minnesota was UCLA, and you started talking about UCLA.
Ooh, I should stop talking.
So then they come off their bye. They have Penn State at home. And I think they can beat Penn State at home. Indiana at home. I think they can see, and I know we're on opposite sides of that, but I think they can. They go to Rutgers, they win. Michigan State at home, they win. Then it's at Oregon.
Loss.
Yeah. UCLA at home.
Win.
Yes. And then the game is in enemy territory.
Loss.
Reason
loss. Being loss, they are acting like they do not care. And that is very alarming.
It's also BS, because yes, they do care.
They do care. Here's the thing, too. I'm listening to a bunch of people overreact, underreact, whatever it may be. It's bad for your brand.
It's terrible for your brand.
You're the quarterback for Michigan, and you're saying it's just another game to me?
I'll give you another one. Texas, Colin Simmons was like, oh, Oklahoma, like that's not a rivalry. Like, okay, I get it. From the time you've been here, yeah, Texas won 2 years in a row. Like, let me just tell you, in the 2000s or late 2000s and all of the 2010s, it really wasn't a rivalry because Texas sucked and they beat the brakes off of us almost every year.
Can I give you an extremely hot take? As someone who's lived in North Texas my whole life and has been around the Red River piece of it,
okay,
the players certainly care about the rivalry. Agree with that. Ever since the move to the SEC, y'all are like, you and OU are like the two friends in a friend group that's like, ew, I hate this person, but secretly go and get a hotel room when no one is looking. The fans on Twitter, anytime something in the Big 12 happens, they're like, oh, I can't believe we would never do that. And it's like, what are you talking about, we? It's like, I thought y'all hated each other. Like, y'all don't do that with Texas A&M. You will never see that from anyone, any fan, any player, nobody.
Oklahoma fans hate to hear this. Our biggest rival is A&M.
Yeah.
That is the biggest rivalry we have. There is so much visceral hate attached to it.
There's not the same amount of hate for OU.
There isn't. And to a point, I think you're right. I think it's you love to hate them.
You love to hate them, but y'all are so married at the hip that even the fans are starting to kind of acknowledge it, which
We had to move together. We had to move to the SEC together.
exactly. And because of that, I think the fan bases have now kind of been like, well, we're in this together. We might as well make the most of it.
I think you're right. Anyway, needless to say, I have Michigan at 4, going 10-2. At number 3, with what I'm going to call the easiest schedule in college football, is Penn State, going 11-1.
New coach not Will Campbell. Campbell is their coach. Why did I call him Will Campbell?
I don't know.
Matt Campbell. Will Campbell, the
Where did you get
lineman.
Will Campbell
The
from?
offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, Matt Campbell.
Okay. So let me listen, because I can unfortunately be talked into 12-0 here. But I have their one loss right before their bye at Michigan. Okay, let me read you the rest of the schedule. Marshall, Temple, Buffalo, Wisconsin, Northwestern, USC, the loss at Michigan, their bye week, Purdue, Washington, Minnesota, Rutgers, and Maryland.
So they miss out on Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Iowa, USC.
No, they play USC.
Yeah, they play USC. Okay.
And I could talk. I could be talked into switching. I could keep it at 11-1. Say they beat Michigan. Say they lose to USC. I could be talked into that.
I'm just saying they
play two teams.
The dumbest draw. You have, was it 18, 20 teams in their?
They have 18 teams in
their conference
in the Big Ten,
and you dodge the 3 best teams.
Yes,
which is basically the conference.
Yes.
God, I hate that.
Yep.
I hate that. And I love Matt Campbell. You know, he's bringing his entire Iowa State team with him, Rocco Beck being their quarterback. Penn State fans don't deserve anything good, especially this.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why I have them third. Because that schedule is stupid.
Gross.
Okay. So obviously I have 2 teams left. These 2 teams, I think, will be at a rematch in the Big Ten Championship. At number 2, at 11-1, I have Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon has Boise State at home. They go to Oklahoma State. Sorry. Portland State at home. Didn't even know that was a school.
I didn't even know it was a state. It is a city. I know. It's yeah. Portland State. What a dumbass name for a school.
They go to USC, which could be an interesting game.
Sneaky early game of the year vibes.
It could be an interesting game. I think they get the dub. They have their bye week. UCLA at home, Nebraska at home, at Illinois, Northwestern at home. Then they go to Ohio State. And I think they lose it at Ohio State. Michigan at home. They go to Michigan State. Washington at home to end out the year.
I don't think it's unreasonable for them to go undefeated.
It's not unreasonable.
It's not unreasonable. I mean, you get who should have been the second overall pick in the draft had he gone to the draft, Dante Moore.
Yes.
You get Carrion Moore back from being banged up for most of the year. You get that entire just unbelievable defense back. You're just filled to the brim with talent, production. Dan Lanning's a dog.
I was going to say, and Dan Lanning's your coach.
Mm-hmm. No, and you don't have to deal with the nonsense of losing Will Stein in the middle of a playoff run. Mm-hmm. Now, we'll say losing your offensive defensive coordinator could mess with you. However, every good team deals with that at some point. I'm very, very high on Oregon this year. I would have them personally as my number 1.
Well, and then here's my number 1. Ohio State, undefeated. I think they go. Something just fell that scared the hell out of me. I think they go, like, obviously, let me just tell you, their first game at home against Ball State,
I didn't know it was a state.
Might be a close one there. They go into Austin. I do think it's a great game. I think it's a much better game than last year. I do unfortunately like Ohio State in that on some dumb. They win 24-21 on a last second field goal. I really think that game could go either way. Both rosters are absolutely loaded. It's in Austin. Austin's going to be freaking rocking. I do think Ohio State wins. Then they get to go back home and play Kent State. And then they go Illinois at home, at Iowa, Maryland at home, at Indiana. Could be interesting. Their bye week. They do go to USC, Oregon at home, Northwestern at home. They go to Nebraska, Michigan at home.
Yeah. I mean,
you could give me anywhere from 10-2 to 12-0, and I'd believe it.
Yeah, where are they? They're interestingly enough, their over-under is 9.5.
Because the odd makers are playing it safe, or?
I mean, they're not playing it safe with Oregon or Indiana.
I mean, you can't have it 10 dead on.
Yeah.
That's fair. Anyway, and so then I have Ohio State and Oregon in the Big Ten Championship. I will say this. I think the loser of the regular season matchup wins the championship.
Kind of like how it was in 2024.
Yes.
Where Oregon beat Ohio State in the regular season, played in the Rose Bowl, dog walk.
Yes.
I like that. I like that idea.
So there's the Big Ten for you. Any thoughts or anything you want to kind of explore further there? Because Big Ten's an interesting conference, especially in the top half because they're very heavy.
Yeah, I think they are the best conference purely because the top half is so great. They're literally the top three teams are better than the top three teams in the SEC, even though the SEC is deeper. But again, if we're talking about our worst teams are better than your worst teams, that's loser talk. Yeah. So I think we disagree on a couple teams there. Indiana and Michigan being two of them. You've talked me into Nebraska. I'm, again, high on Ohio State and Oregon. I have Oregon winning the Big Ten. I don't think that's unreasonable. But also, this all could be a moot point, and Indiana could just win it all again.
They could.
I mean, it's tough because do you go with you're the champion unless proven otherwise, or do you just take it as a brand new year?
I think SIG's mentality is it's a brand new year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to take every game just as seriously as they took every game last year.
Yeah.
And I could, if you looked at me, if someone appeared in this room right now and said, I'm from the future and I'm just going to tell you that Indiana's going to do it again, they're going to go undefeated and win the national championship, I would believe it.
I would also semi-believe that, like, Nebraska did it as well.
I really talked you into Nebraska, didn't I?
You did. It's strange.
It's a weird team.
It's weird, but also it's one of those schools where it's like, I wouldn't mind it.
Well, because like the 90s Nebraska teams were just absolutely insane. So,
yeah. No, I agree. I'm not as high on watching Big Ten football just because, again,
I'm not either.
Again, like you get, I don't know if Purdue or Northwestern are playing each other. It might be a sickos game where, again, we just have to bite the bullet, drink plenty of whiskey, and say, hey, let's have fun watching a game in Evanston or Evansville, whatever it is.
Let's pause kind of halfway through here. Will you explain to the people what you mean by it's a sickos game?
Yes.
Just so that those listening that may not have heard the terminology.
Yes. So sickos, there's a Twitter account called Sickos Committee. where basically we sit and watch just the worst football you can think of. Like, think of Pac-12 after dark games, where it's like Washington State versus Oregon State. Both of them are 4-5, or maybe like a Minnesota Northwestern game. It's 11 o'clock. Beth Mowens is calling the game. Over-unders 30 and a half. You know you're just in for just a slog of a game.
There's one of those in week 2 that I'm actually going to watch. I don't remember who their opponent is, but it's a Hawaii game in Hawaii, and it's a 10:59 kickoff. I'm staying up and watching it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be one of them. That would certainly be one of them. Think bad Conference USA football on like a Wednesday in late October. Like you're watching Kennesaw State versus Middle Tennessee.
It's like a La Tech versus UAB kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Or what was the year in India or Iowa won a game? I want to say it was like 13-9. That is sicko football.
The Super Bowl where the Patriots beat the Rams 13-3.
Yeah, sicko football. That is when I talk about sickos committee. Think bad Big Ten football,
but not like Maction where it's like
it's just fun. Maction is fun.
Yeah.
Think Rutgers versus Stanford on like a Friday.
Purdue, Princeton.
Yes. Like that. That is bad football.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Well, now that we've got the vocabulary lesson out of the way, let's move from the north and let's talk about the most cannibalistic conference that exists in college football.
We're back in the South.
The SEC.
It just means more. More complaining because the Big Ten's won the last 3 championships. Remember, kids? Sit sit next to Grandpa here, and I'll tell you a fireside story about the SEC, how they used to be good.
They're back-to-back Georgia national championships. They're 6-10 or 6-12 Bama championships.
Yeah, in 2006 until 2013, they won every single national championship.
Yeah, and then 13 is when
Florida State.
Yes, 13 is when Florida State won it. 14 is when
Ohio State
won it.
And then it was like Bama, Clemson, yada,
for
yada, yada.
4 years.
Yeah. LSU, then Bama.
Oh my God, that 2019 LSU team was...
We'll talk about LSU here.
Okay.
But let's start with the bad. Just like we've done with all the other conferences, we'll start with the bad. Brand new coach coming to Fayetteville. Not really going to make much of a difference. This is going to be a bad team here. I have Arkansas winning 2 games. Tulsa, they're going to beat Tulsa, North Alabama.
I was going to say, are they even SEC teams?
No.
At least one of them is in Alabama.
Yeah. I can't tell you where in North Alabama they are. But, no, none of these are in Arkansas. This is Alabama.
I said Alabama.
Oh.
I said at least.
Oh, I thought you said one of them was in Arkansas.
No, I said at least one of them is in Alabama.
I'm not thinking straight. I'm just looking at how awful this might be the hardest schedule in all of football.
Oh, it's disgustingly hard.
So, North Alabama at Utah. Gross.
Weird. Gross.
Then at middle of September, you got to go to Georgia. You get a reprieve. You play Tulsa. Then you go to College Station at Texas A&M, home for Tennessee, at Vandy, home for Mizzou, at Auburn, home for South Carolina, at Texas, home for LSU. Oh, that's gross. I feel bad for them. So we got that out of the way. Bad football. We're going to continue with bad football, but I think this team has a great horizon. Kentucky.
Okay, Big Blue.
Big Blue. Will Stein coming in there. He's talking his talk. Seems to have a good mindset for this team coming forward. Kenny Minchie going to be their quarterback this year.
Okay.
Have them winning 2 games because again their draw is unbelievably hard. I feel so bad for them. Youngstown State and South Alabama are their wins.
Is there like an East and West Alabama too, or is that just Alabama and Auburn?
I think that just might be Alabama and
Okay,
Auburn.
all right, cool.
Speaking of Alabama, they literally the second week they play Alabama.
Oof. In Tuscaloosa?
No, in Kentucky at least.
That's still not good.
Have to go to College Station. They play South Alabama at home. They have to go to South Carolina, home for LSU, at Oklahoma, home for Vanderbilt, at Tennessee, home for Florida, at Mizzou, and then home for Louisville.
You know, I could see them doing something really stupid, like getting 3 wins somehow. And because the ACC is the ACC, doing something like beating Louisville, especially if Louisville is primed to go into the ACC championship.
They also hate each other.
They do really hate each other.
They might just get up for that game and win that game. These next 2 teams are kind of in the same fold. I have just how everything shakes out. Again, I don't think Mississippi State is a bad team. It's just, God, the other teams that I have them playing, I'm so high on just because that middle of the pack could very well be 6-6, but also make the playoff. It's not like the ACC where 10-2, wow, they're 10-2. Oh, but they're in the ACC, and the committee's not going to think of it. These are teams that you could very well see winning a playoff game as well. Unfortunately, Mississippi State, they made a bowl game, did really well. I think a lot of people are high on them to make a good push. It's just, I don't see the wins.
Ryan, they spend more on cowbells than they do on their roster.
Can you imagine living in Starkville? No offense to Dak Prescott, but God, I just don't know. And Brandon Walker, shout out the greatest mind in college football. I'm unfortunate.
The greatest mind in college football
Brandon
is
Walker.
Brandon Walker to you?
He's up there.
Okay, but you didn't say up there. You said the greatest mind in college football.
He technically won it 1 year as the best personality in college football. I trust him. Shout out Brandon Walker, but unfortunately, your team.
The issue isn't the shout out. I have an issue with the plaque that you've given him of the greatest mind in college football.
We're a pro Brandon Walker podcast here.
I'm not, dude. I don't have a problem with.
Did you hear that, Brandon Walker? Did you hear that, Brandon Walker? I'm on your side here. We're family.
I'm not okay. All right. You know what? Continue on. Let's move out of Starkville.
So, well, hold on. You're gonna like this. I have them winning 4 games this year. It's a backslide, unfortunately. I have them beating Minnesota in Minnesota.
I would hope so. Is that early in the year or late in the year?
It's week 2.
It's week 2. Do you know? Okay, it wouldn't happen, but do you know how fun it would be for Mississippi State and their cowbells to go up there and it's like snowing?
Sorry, I have 5 games. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
That would be amazing.
I have them winning 5 games. I have them beating. I forget they played Tennessee Tech later in the year. God. I have them winning 6 games. Yeah, that's right. I have them beating Auburn too.
I mean, yeah, I can
see them beating that at home. Upset pick of the year for me. I have them winning the Egg Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, they hate each other that much. Strange things happen out there.
Listen, I can also see that because it's the Egg Bowl, but I can also see it because Ole Miss is just in a super weird place right now. They're just in a super weird place. They're hung up on their ex. Like,
they're trying to push Trinidad Chambliss, who is a great quarterback, but the narrative around him, especially pushed by ESPN, that he's going to be the best thing for college football.
Incorrect.
I don't think they're going to be, because I mean, again, Keewan Lacey's really good. He's a really good running back. I have a hard time. They lost Trey Harris. They lost Dijon Stribling. What else you got?
I would rather ESPN push like, hey, let's go to the house that Josh Allen built. This quarterback from Wyoming is going to be phenomenal this year.
Yeah, this quarterback that had to sue his way into playing football again.
Trinidad Chambliss, he is not talking about some random quarterback from Wyoming.
Yeah, no.
Apologies to the starting quarterback of Wyoming.
Yeah, you're not going to get shout out because we don't know who you are. Anyways, I know I mentioned Mike Norvell being the first coach fired.
Do you think it's not Mike Norvell?
Well, I think this next coach is going to make a big running for that, and that team is South Carolina. Shane Beamer.
Shane Bad Boy Beamer is on the hot seat? But South Carolina's been so consistently mid, Ryan.
You would think his high-end talent would save him. You know, Nick Harbor, Lenora Sellers.
Lenora Sellers does not get enough credit. For as good of a quarterback as he is, in my opinion, he's not getting enough credit. Sorry.
Not get enough credit for how overrated he is?
See, here's the thing. I think if you took Lenora Sellers and you replaced Marcel Reed with him, I think A&M goes undefeated last year, and I think they could possibly at least score a touchdown against Miami, if not make it much closer.
True. But again, you're dealing with a team that has Lenora Sellers, who many want to put as a first-round pick.
But you have to look at the whole picture.
I know.
Look at what's around him.
But glad you mentioned that. You have Nick Harbor, who is an absolute freak of a human being.
That is true.
Again, Nick Harbor is a receiver, and he's also 6'5", 242, and runs a 4.4. There's talent for you there.
Okay, that talent singular.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that as well, because you also have Dylan Stewart on defense, who everyone is a junior eligible for the draft.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
Again,
okay, all right.
There is talent there.
I'll shut up. I digress. I get it. Shane Beamer's on the hot seat.
Either way, I have them winning 5 games.
That's fine. I can also see them going 6-6 again, but
they don't make it through Cocktober.
Did you just want to say that?
Yes, because they tried to make it a thing, and they actually went 0-4 through Cocktober. And so I just want to make
That's
it a
the
thing
most South Carolina
year.
thing they can do, though.
I know. Make a thing called Cocktober and then lose every game in Cocktober.
Yes.
So I will be watching Cocktober and laughing through Cocktober.
Right, but there's like so many more games in October, though, that are much more fun.
I don't think you understand. It's Cocktober.
Can we please leave Columbia, South Carolina?
Fine. We'll go to Nashville, where there's a big drop-off. The magic of Pavia is over.
Even though over because he got released by the Ravens.
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe Bojangles will hire him. All right. Well, they do get a 5-star quarterback in Jared Curtis, though. So I think he will be promising. He'll be one of the only bright spots, along with Clark Lee. Again, I have them winning 4 games, though.
Only 4?
Here's their schedule: Austin Peay.
When?
Delaware.
When?
NC State.
When?
Have them losing that one. At Auburn, at Georgia.
I'm going to say lose both.
Home for Ole Miss.
Lose.
Home for Arkansas.
Win.
At Kentucky.
Win.
At Mississippi State. You can toss that one up there if Iowa has a loss.
You can, but you could toss that up and it could be a win.
Last 3 games are Bama, Florida, Tennessee.
Loss. Did I get to 5? If I give them Starkville, if I give them Mississippi State, do I get to 5?
Yes.
Okay. So let's
definitely not 9-3.
No. Let's call it 4.5.
Now the other teams that I have just aren't really good. Missouri. Again, they have the best running back in college football, but he is recovering from being shot.
Also, snow does not belong on an SEC logo.
Agree. Unless it's Tennessee. Or Kentucky.
I'm fixing to ask a really dumb question.
They get snow.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Kentucky gets snow. Kentucky isn't north enough.
All right.
Their quarterback is Austin Simmons, who started the first 2 games of the year for Ole Miss, got hurt, lost his job to Trinidad Chambliss, came back, was healthy enough, and not good enough to take his job back.
I'm thinking of a different player. Who's the kid that left Oklahoma and went to Auburn?
Jackson Arnold.
Thank you.
He's at UNLV now.
He's still playing?
Yeah, he's only like a junior.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or I guess a senior now. I don't know. Who cares? None of eligibility's crapshoot. But he's with Dan Mullen, so maybe Dan Mullen will renovate him. Yeah, I don't see it for them. I have them going 6-6 at best.
It's okay. And I hate this and it sucks, but like,
you can talk me into 5-7 because Kansas early on could.
Well, no, see, that's the thing is like, I think if they go 6-6 and beat Kansas, I think they're fine.
Okay.
That's like a good year for Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that very well could be a good year for them. The other team that I have as probably the biggest disappointment, we've mentioned them a ton here, Ole Miss.
You know, I want to be higher on Ole Miss. Like, I want to give them top 5 in the SEC status. I want to.
A lot of them do. I
think it's too.
Again, this is a team that very well could make the playoff again, but I also can see going 7-5, 6-6.
I don't think they go 6-6. I think their floor, like a hard floor, is 7-5.
Here's their schedule, and I think they might also be a product of their schedule.
Oh, okay.
Their first game is Louisville.
It'll be an interesting test.
That's not easy.
No. I don't think it's going to be easy. I said it's going to be an interesting test.
Charlotte
win.
Home for LSU.
They're not going to win that.
They're going to be so wound up for that I don't think scheme-wise they're going to be ready.
They're not. It's going to be a clown show.
It really is.
And LSU's just going to come in there and just handle business. Also, side note on LSU, we can talk about it in a second. I think Coach O ends up upstaging Lane Kiffin.
I think Lane Kiffin would be fine with that. If it means them winning, I think Lane Kiffin would be fine with that.
I just meant like in terms of like thinking they're funny versus actually being funny. Coach O's a pretty funny guy.
Oh yeah, Coach O. I mean, Coach O's authentic.
He definitely has a better accent than Brian Kelly.
God, I hate Brian Kelly. Ugh. I'm so happy to go through a year and not have to mention that guy's name.
Ugh. That's fair.
Wait, was it Brian Kelly at Boston College or Bobby Petrino? I'll have to look that up in a second.
Okay. Anyway, so Oxford, not going to go well.
No, I mean after LSU they play Florida, Vanderbilt, Mizzou. I have them winning
those 3. They can beat Vandy.
Then they go to Texas, and then they play Auburn, and then they play Georgia, and then they play OU.
They could beat Auburn.
I have them beating Auburn, but you can talk me out of it.
I don't think they're going to beat us.
No,
they're really not going to beat Georgia.
They're really not going to beat OU.
And
I have them limping into the Egg Bowl and losing.
At 7-5.
At 7-5.
Okay.
Let me just kind of go through here again. These are the next group of teams could very well be 6-6. Also make the playoff. These are teams I'm incredibly high on.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. Teams that could go 6-6 or also make the playoffs. I'm going to say that is a realm of 3 teams, and I'm going to say it's Texas A&M, Tennessee, and Florida.
Those teams are in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have 5 of them.
Oh, crap. All right.
So A&M is one of them. I have them going 7-5. But again, they very well can make the playoff like they did last year. I
They
think
they can. They just
their
they
schedule
they
shaped
need
out.
Mr. Fantastic as a receiving core because Marcel Reed has no accuracy. He can throw the ball from one end zone to the other.
How
He
it
just doesn't have any accuracy.
how it shook out last year. I think they wound up playing like the bottom 6 of the SEC last year. So I mean they very well might do it, but I mean their last 5 games are at Alabama,
Lose,
at South Carolina,
win,
home for Tennessee, at OU, home for Texas.
lose.
Those last 3 games, if they can win 2 of those 3 games, yeah, you should make a playoff because at that point you're
because those last 3 teams should be playoff teams.
exactly. Tennessee is one of those teams.
Yep.
I very well have them at 9-3. I think this is a year where, again, you could argue Heupel's on the hot seat because last year didn't shake out very well. But
you could argue that
there was so much turmoil with the Nico situation that I think he handled it very well. Barring, again, is 8-5 what they want to be? No, but I think he did a pretty good enough job last year.
Did they win their bowl game?
No, they lost to Illinois.
Got it.
A team I'm very high on for the future is Florida.
I am too. Actually, that's why you haven't brought them up yet, but Oklahoma has to go into the swamp, and I think this can be a very tough game. Florida actually comes to us this year. I think that's going to be a tough game for us. I think that's going to be harder than a lot of people are giving Florida credit for.
Yeah, John Summerall is one hell of a coach. He has the personality of a Signetti, where he just doesn't care. He's going to say what he wants, and he's backed it up in his career. So I'm pretty high on them. Jaden Ball's coming back, really, really good running back. Eric Singleton is going to be a newcomer for that team. Very excited.
There's something about Florida being good in college football.
Yes.
That just makes things feel right.
And speaking of a team that I think they're paired together, but I think they will have basically the same season. In new coach, that's Auburn. Alex Golish is coming in from UCF, or USF, excuse me.
Okay.
Bringing basically his entire team. A team that went into Florida and won. Bynum Brown, if you look at his stats, outplayed Drew Mestamaker when they played each other. This is a team that had a great defense last year, but a god-awful offense. Thank you, Hugh Freeze.
They also get to open the year with a moderately big game because they play Baylor in Atlanta as the kickoff to the year or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I have them going 4-0 before they go play Tennessee.
I think Auburn's going to be a really good middle of the pack team. I think your grouping of this team can go 6-6, this team can go 9-3 and make the playoff, I think is an accurate grouping.
Now I have the what do we do with this team?
Can I guess? Okay, I don't think it's any of the top 4. And if my top 4 matches your top 4, I'm going to say because of their coach and losing their quarterback, it's Bama.
Yes. What do we do with them? They are talented enough to be a playoff team.
I think
all across the board.
I think week 2 tells you what you're going to do with them.
I mean, they play Kentucky. They're going to go undefeated until they play Georgia. I think Georgia's going to be the first true test. We still need to know who their quarterback is. Is it going to be Austin Mack, or is it going to be my personal favorite and the dark horse of all dark horses to win the Heisman, Keelan Russell?
Here's why I say week 2 is going to be the test of that. Because if they go in and pull a Nick Saban joyless murder ball and just dismantle the entire football program of Kentucky, I think you know probably what to expect. I think if they go in They pitter-patter around. We're halfway through the third, and it's 21-14, or even worse, 17-14. I think that is cause for concern because they'll come alive in the fourth quarter. They'll end up winning by 3 scores, but that the final score doesn't tell you what happened throughout the game.
They need to be able to run the ball. If they're not going to be able to this year, now you have enough of a track record to show that that's just not them. And the way that if you're going to be winning, even how it was in the Saban year, now more than ever, if you can't dominate the line of scrimmage, you're not winning anything. That showed clear as day when they played Indiana. They got outclassed.
Oh, yeah.
They out-physicaled everything. I do think the quarterback situation is going to be an interesting thing to see. They haven't had that situation since Jalen Hurts became their quarterback.
So I know Keelan Russell. Who was the Mac kid?
Austin Mack. He was the backup last year.
Okay, can that kid run routes and catch?
No, but Ryan Williams can.
Yes. Yes, Ryan Williams can. Where I was going with that is like, could he be converted into a Taysom Hill-esque player?
At 6'6", 232?
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. he's a freak of a human being.
Never mind.
But Keelan Russell's a winner.
I'll be quiet.
No, you're good. You're good. Again, I have them at 10-2. I personally have them just outside the playoff race.
Who are their 2 losses? Georgia and
LSU.
Okay. And because they're 2 SEC losses,
it's going to hurt them.
It's going to hurt them more.
Which then brings me to the team that I think gets the love. And this is my playoff team, one of my 4 playoff teams for this conference, and that is the Oklahoma Sooners.
Okay.
I think Oklahoma has, besides Oregon, the best defense in all of college football. They're returning John Mateer. They're starting running Isaiah Satania. Their defensive line is just unbelievably stacked.
Their defense is good. I am in no way discrediting that. I'm telling you, John Mateer, the kid changed his throwing motion, and I think that's going to cause more issues than people are giving it credit for. Now, if their defense can hold teams under 21 points, I think Oklahoma's going to win a lot of games. Because I do think that in the back half of the season last year, they figured out how to run the football.
Yeah. I think also they realized, kind of played almost Iowa-esque football, where we can beat them down, get 1 big play, 2 big plays. That's all we need.
Yep.
We win the game. I have them losing 2 games, Georgia and at Florida. However,
I do think that I'm telling you that Florida game is going to be harder than people think.
I think they beat Texas. I think that Texas game is going to what gets them over the edge over a team like Alabama.
Okay.
Because they're both going to have the Georgia loss. Maybe the Florida loss looks worse than the LSU, but that win against Texas and the win against Michigan, having that out-of-conference win also will help propel them. The other team I have in there, which is going to be the biggest boom or bust team in all of college football, will be LSU.
Oh, yeah.
I have them at 11-1, losing to Texas. But again, they should be a shoo-in for the playoff.
I really think they should. If you take the clown show of the coaches out of it, I think they have a ton of talent.
Just the talent that they're bringing in is Sam Leavitt, Jordan Seaton, who is a 5-star. You're bringing in DJ Pickett, who is the new number 5. Sorry, I said the number 5. I'm so sorry, Jaden Daniels. So sorry. We'll never do that again. Or sorry to his mom. Shout out, Mama. You're also bringing back Trey'Dez Green, who might be the best. I'm going to say it will be the best tight end in all of college football. He's 6'7", 237. Okay. You're also bringing back the Weeks brothers. You're also I mean, just the talent that you're bringing in from all these other places. Rumor is they spent $40 million on the roster. Which, if you're going to do that,
I
you better make
I wholeheartedly fucking believe that.
At minimum, make the playoff. So, and also you have Charlie Weiss Jr. as your offensive coordinator, who did wonders with that offense with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, and you just swiped Blake Baker from Mizzou a couple years ago, and it's going to make the world of difference. So,
okay,
not much more there to say.
That's fair.
And then the top two teams here, I have Texas losing the Big 12 SEC championship to Georgia again. Shocker.
Yep.
Their only loss during the season is OU. Like LSU, all the talent in the world. The receiving core is a dream. They have the best running back, 2 running backs, and both of them transferred in.
They had 5 preseason All-Americans, and none of them were named Arch Manning.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying that Arch should have been named that.
No, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be on Arch. Unfairly, fairly, whatever it may be, it's going to be on him.
Fairly this year. Unfairly last year. Fairly this year. Because now
you have Cam Coleman and Ryan Wingo.
Well, you have the most talent. You have, even though we lost so much on the defensive side of the ball, I do think we reloaded. And so you have the defense to back you up if you make a mistake, and you have the offensive weapons around you, and our offensive line got better.
Yeah, they absolutely did.
At this point, it comes down to what kind of quarterback play are you going to get? And shout out Brandon Walker.
Family.
Brandon Walker did say in a clip that I saw of him that was last year, the first half of the year, Arch, is that nerves of being a new starter, or is Arch Manning just that guy who struggles early in the season and then is able to turn it on? Let me just tell you something. If in week 2 we beat Ohio State, I will become insufferable to deal with for like the rest of that day. And then immediately after that, they are going to start talking, like all of the sports writers, everyone is going to start talking about, oh, this Texas team's for real. And I'm going to get like a Braxton Hicks version of battered Aggie syndrome, waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's going to freak me out.
The real tell of if the season's going to be a success or failure is not OU. It's the game before.
Florida.
No.
Oh, Tennessee.
Yep. You go to Knoxville.
Yeah. It's the battle for the real UT.
It's going to be tough. But I will say something happened in that Georgia game last year where I think it was just an absolute cluster. But after that, killed Arkansas, beat A&M, and beat a Michigan team that had all its players.
It's not its coach.
It's the Citrus Bowl, but
was Sharon Moore still there for that?
Yeah, he was just about to stalk his assistant.
Okay,
yeah, just about. And
okay,
then
so you have us 11-1 with an SEC loss.
With an SEC loss.
Okay. Could you be talked into 11-1 with no SEC losses and us losing to Ohio State?
Yes.
Okay.
Somehow that would be much better for y'all.
It would be incredibly better.
I think you win that game and lose Red River.
That's just really upsetting. But you have us beating A&M, which I like. So,
but the overall winner of the conference
it's Georgia.
Is Georgia.
Yeah.
You're bringing back so much. I mean, again, I've said this with a bunch of teams, but this is a Kirby Smart-laden team that he's bringing back. I mean, are these guys that are household names like pass rushers that they were in the past? No. But these are damn good players.
It's Kirby Smart in Georgia. And I'm sorry. I understand that the Big Ten has won for the last 3 years. But until Kirby Smart and that Georgia team have like a 7-win season, I will believe in that until the end of time.
Yeah. You bring back Gunnar Stockton. You're bringing back Nate
Which,
Frazier.
I mean,
You're bringing back
the
Lawson
best
Lucky.
name for an SEC quarterback ever.
Defense is stacked. Ellis Robinson, KJ Bolden, two guys who are supposed to be first round picks. What more can you say? They're going undefeated. They're going to win the conference again. They're going to beat Texas.
Oh yeah.
So
we can't beat Georgia for whatever reason. What that reason is, I literally can't tell you. I don't know. I don't know if Kirby went to 4 more meetings with Saban than what Sark did. I don't know if they can just turn it on like that against us. I literally have no clue.
now that this is his 11th year at Georgia, which is crazy to think about, he's seen it all.
That's fair.
He's been there for the unbelievably horrifying losses at the beginning of his career with them. He's also been there for the big wins, knows how to win big, knows how to win championships. I don't know what else to say. It seems chalk, but again, this is a conference that has 2 or 3 god-awful teams.
I don't think it's really chalk, though, dude. Like, I really don't. Yeah, you can call it chalk if you want to call it chalk. Like, oh, you picked Georgia to win. Like, yeah, we picked Georgia to win. Like, it's freaking Georgia.
Yeah. Again, as we said earlier, these are all crapshoots. Because, again, everyone last year had Penn State and Clemson and Georgia and all these winning. But if you look at the Final Four, it was Indiana, Miami, Ole Miss, and Oregon. So we could be very, very wrong about this, and I'd kind of be happy because it was very fun.
We're not wrong about Clemson, though. I just want to.
Oh, no. Well, I will. If I'm wrong about Clemson, I'll just stop watching.
You won't be, though.
No, but it would hurt. This conference is 3 really bad teams. Everyone else besides 3 or 4 of them can go 6-6 or make the playoff. And then you got the top 3.
Yeah.
And then one of those teams in the top 3 could very well just implode on itself as well. So, in LSU.
Yeah. See, here's what I think happens with LSU. I think LSU gets all the way to like a quarterfinal, and then they just like play on butter, forget how to play football.
I think they play a team like Alabama, how they played Indiana last year. And it's like, oh, this is not the same. So that's the SEC.
Switching to the Big 12. My last place team in the Big 12, that state gets a lot of snow, but they're not very good at football this year. You want to take a guess?
Prime time.
Yes, it's Colorado. I have Colorado going 1-11.
Who is their one win?
Weber State.
Weber State? Oh, shout out Damian Lillard.
Weber State, yeah.
I mean, cool. Congrats.
They open with Georgia Tech, at Georgia Tech, loss.
Gross.
At Northwestern, at Baylor. They have Tech at home, Utah at home, at Oklahoma State, Kansas State at home, at Arizona State, Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, all losses.
Yeah, that's not a real team out there at all. They had a highly ranked kid last year who just didn't really know what he was doing, and he might improve, but the team around him is not looking good.
At number 15, this team I think is going to double Colorado's win total.
Ooh.
At 2-10, it is the college football team with probably the best, like number 1 post-game song to be played.
You have them this low?
Yes. But they're not that good at football this year. It's West Virginia.
Wow.
So let me walk you through their schedule. Okay. Because their first 2 wins come in the first 2 weeks. It's Coastal Carolina and UT Martin.
Okay.
Then they go to Virginia, Oklahoma State at home. They go to Iowa State, Arizona, Cincinnati, at TCU, at Texas Tech off the bye, Kansas at home, Houston at home, at Utah.
They'll beat Iowa State.
Okay, so 3-9.
Triple the win total. Give them
Oh,
the
ho,
credit.
ho, ho.
Give them the credit. Yeah, what is their win total? God, their West Virginia's is 5.5.
So I'm very low.
Very low on them.
Okay. At number 14, who you would convince me now would technically be the 15th team if West Virginia beats them, is Iowa State.
I have them as the worst team.
Worse than Colorado?
Yes.
That's wrong.
I mean, they'll fight for the bottom of the barrel. I mean, we're picking straws here. They have them at 5.5 wins, but I do think
I have them at
bad.
If we make the adjustment, now I have them at 2-10.
Okay.
Right. So week 1 is Southeast Missouri, and then they go to Iowa, Cyhawk.
Anything
Loss.
can happen. Anything can happen. That's a loss, but anything can happen.
True. Bowling Green at home, win.
Are we sure?
Yes. I don't. Bowling Green is not the top MAC team. I don't even think they're in the top 3.
30 of MAC teams?
3.
Oh, sorry.
Then they play Utah,
Loss.
West Virginia, which you just said was a loss, at BYU,
Loss.
Arizona off the bye,
Loss.
Oklahoma State, at Baylor, Cincinnati, at UCF, and Kansas State.
Okay. Yeah. Bad team.
So at 13, at 4-8, I'm probably a little low on them, but I have Kansas. So I have them. Their wins are against Long Island, Middle Tennessee State, UCF, and West Virginia.
Interesting. You have UCF that low as well?
Yeah, I have them at 12.
Interesting.
I have them at 5-7.
Yeah, their win total is 5.5. So yeah,
I have them beating Bethune, Georgia State, Arizona State, Iowa State, and Colorado.
interesting.
I have them losing at Pitt, TCU, at Houston, at Oklahoma State, BYU, Baylor, and at Kansas.
Okay.
Number 11, I have Baylor.
I'm very low on Baylor.
I have them at 6-6.
That's the common that I've seen. Their win total 6.5. Is DJ Lagway good?
No.
Is
Stop
DJ
it.
Lagway
No.
good? Like,
Stop
are we
it.
going to play this game?
No, we're not.
He's in the Big 12 now?
No, we're not. He's going to go 6-6. Look here. They're going to lose to Auburn.
Yeah.
They will beat Prairie View.
Oof.
They will beat Louisiana Tech.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they will beat Colorado.
Okay.
They lose to Arizona State and TCU. They beat Kansas, UCF, and Iowa State. Then they lose to BYU, Texas Tech, and Houston.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, I don't see any more than 6 wins. I also, like you said, there's 6 solid losses there.
At number 10, also 6-6, I have Arizona State.
Their win total 6.5 as well.
So their wins, they're gonna beat Morgan State,
I would hope.
Kansas,
Okay.
Baylor, Hawaii. I have them upsetting Kansas State.
Really?
In Colorado,
Okay.
I have them losing to Texas A&M. That is at Kyle Field in week 2. At Texas Tech, at BYU, at UCF, against Oklahoma State, and at Arizona.
There's one team you haven't mentioned yet. I'm sure you'll get to them. Looking at their win totals, very surprised at what you're gonna say about this team.
Okay. That was 10. 9, I have Cincinnati.
That is that team.
I have them at 7-5.
Their win total's 5.5. Walk me through Cincinnati.
Okay. So I actually have them starting 4-0. They beat Boston College. They beat Western Carolina. They beat Miami of Ohio. And because it's at home, I have them beating Kansas State.
You have them beating Kansas State?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
And then they lose at Arizona. They beat West Virginia coming off the bye. They lose to Texas Tech, Utah, and Houston. They beat Iowa State. They beat Colorado, and they lose at BYU to end the year.
Okay. I mean,
if I put them at 6-6 and their win total is 5.5, you wouldn't have thought I was this crazy.
No. The teams that you had mentioned, I think it's also the teams that you had mentioned. Like, I do think they might finish around the same, if not lower than Baylor. I certainly think they're going to be worse than Kansas. Again, I could be just completely off base. I would dare say they're going to be worse than West Virginia.
We'll see. Number 8, I have Arizona at 8-4.
Yeah.
They play Northern Arizona or North Arizona. They're going to lose at BYU week 2.
Yeah.
Then they're going to rattle off 4. Northern Illinois, at Washington State, Cincinnati, and at West Virginia. Coming off the bye, they're at Iowa State. That's a dub. They lose at Texas Tech. They beat TCU. They lose to Utah and Kansas State, and they beat Arizona State.
Yikes. Yeah, I mean, Noah Fafita's coming back. He's gonna be that team. A lot of people are pretty high on them. 7.5 is their win total. So yeah, you have them at 8.
All right, number 7. Are you ready?
Hurt me now.
It's the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
All right, explain it to me.
I've got them going 8-4.
You know what? First of all, that would be amazing coming off of just one win.
Right.
Really, even 6 wins. That's a 5-win jump.
It is. But I legitimately have them going 8-4. So with what they brought in from North Texas, which is basically 50% of their offense, you start at Tulsa. Easy dub.
We lost to them last year.
But you have
I know.
But listen to me. That North Texas team wouldn't have.
Losers.
But you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah. At Tulsa's a win. You have Oregon at home. Yes, it's in Stillwater. You're still gonna get dog walked.
Yeah, I would be shocked if we lost. I said this last year, and oh my god, it was the worst thing ever. But if we hold them to less than 21, it'd be a miracle.
Yeah, that's fair.
It would be a win in my eyes.
I think you can get out of there legitimately 48-24. I legitimately think you could do that.
I think we're going to be a fun overs team because our defense is a complete unknown. We know what our offense is going to be.
Yeah.
With Caleb Hawkins, Drew Mestamaker, Wyatt Young. That's going to be fun.
It is. So coming off that loss, you're Murray State at home. It's a win.
Okay.
You go to West Virginia. It's a dub. Give your bye week. Coming off that bye week, you have UCF at home. I'm giving you a dub.
Okay.
You go to Houston. It's a loss.
If we can beat Houston, I see this as a promising season.
Sure. And you could talk me into 9-3. But 1-11 to 9-3 is like a Signetti turnaround. Colorado at home, dub. At Iowa State, dub. I've got losses at Kansas State and against Texas Tech.
Okay.
And then at Arizona State, dub. Kansas at home to finish out the year, dub.
Arizona State scares me.
Here is the thing. If you told me that y'all were going to go 7-5 instead of 8-4, but one of those wins was against Texas Tech, I would believe it.
That would mean Drew Mustamaker would have had to play the game of his life.
The game of his life fully. But yeah. So realistically, and I don't think it's crazy, 8-4.
Our over unders 5.5. I appreciate it.
I didn't do it for you. I legitimately looked through all of them. Shut up. I legitimately looked through all of them. And I really do think, and I did follow that North Texas team last year, and I thought that they played really well. I think the return, you guys actually do have quite a bit of returning production.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. We have one returning starter from last year's OSU team.
Returning starter?
Yeah.
But you also have returning backups.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Who could also have improved and now be starters.
Yeah, Jacob Sexton's been there for a while.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you have guys that have been in the program, right? So they know their way around the campus and the field. You have the new coach coming in and bringing basically his entire offense with him. And that was a North Texas team that really, like, had they beat Navy, probably could have done something. May have even ended up in the playoff. You never know.
Yeah. Listen, if we go 8-4 and we rattle off some decent wins, I'll tell you what, J.R. Murphy's under the neon palm. It's going to be rocking.
There you go. So number 6, a team that, looking through all of this, I was actually surprisingly high on. They very well could be a product of their schedule, but I do think they earned some of these wins. I've got Kansas State at 9-3.
I think Colin Klein will get the most out of Avery Johnson. However, that is still Avery Johnson.
It is still Avery Johnson. I understand he's Avery Johnson. I get it. What I'm hoping is we get to the first week of the season, first week to get to week 1, and he has like a Quinn Ewers-esque moment where like he cut off all his hair and now he's legitimately physically lighter because he did that, and he's just better.
Avery Johnson is a different font, but also less talked about Lenora Sellers. Oh, they have Avery Johnson. Oh, they have Lenora Sellers. Oh, they're this bad?
He's the Big 12 Lenora Sellers.
He is.
Is what he is.
Been talked about for so long.
He has. He's been talking about it for a very long time. You're absolutely right. But I have them going 9-3. Let me walk you through this, right? So they start 3-0, fairly easy, right? Nichols, not Nichols State, just Nichols.
Gross.
Washington State and Tulane all at home. They go to Cincinnati. I think they lose to Cincinnati.
You are really high on Cincinnati. That's one we're gonna have to pencil in there and keep an eye on.
That's fine. Then they go to their bye. I think they come off their bye. They beat Houston and Kansas both at home.
Yeah.
They have to go to Arizona State. I think it's a sneaky loss.
Okay.
It's a bit of a trap game. At Colorado, Oklahoma State, they're dubs. I think TCU gets them. I'm weirdly high on TCU this year. And then they end the year Arizona at home, at Iowa State, both dubs.
Okay. 9-3. I can see them sneaking their way into a conversation of playing in the Big 12 championship game.
I'll give you this. My 6-1, you could put any two of those teams in the Big 12 championship, and I'd be like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So my number 5 is TCU. Like I just said, I'm fairly high on them. So I have them also going 9-3. Okay. North Carolina in Dublin, win. Right? Then they get a bye week 1 coming off of week 0. Then they play Grambling and then Arkansas State both at home.
Okay.
Both dubs. They go to UCF. I think they beat UCF.
Yeah.
They have BYU at home.
Loss.
I think they lose to BYU.
Yeah.
Then they have their bye week. They go to Baylor, West Virginia at home, Kansas at home. I think they win all 3.
This is an easy schedule.
Oh,
now
yeah.
that we're looking at it, this is an easy schedule.
They go to Arizona. I think they lose to Arizona.
Yeah.
Kansas State at home. I already said a little bit of an upset there. I think they beat Utah at home. And then they have to go to Tech to end the year. I think they lose.
I think they lose to Utah. You said they have to go to Utah?
Or no, Utah at home.
I still think they. That's
you can
that's
coin flip it, honestly.
That's a coin flip one. Easy early schedule. I think they are a team that is a product of their schedule.
I totally agree.
I don't think they're going to be good. I think they're good for their schedule.
As long as I never have to watch another national championship game like we did in 22, it's fine.
They will. I think the 12-team playoff will weed that out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they should never.
That was disgusting.
Michigan ruined that.
Yeah, they did. Okay, number 4. Also at 9-3. I have Houston.
I am high on Houston. I'm going to give you. They were 6-1 last year in 1-score games.
That's fair.
Does that flip around? At some point, like doing that again is going to be close to impossible.
I agree, but I also think it's not like football's different because, like in baseball, if you're whatever your schedule is in 1-run games, whether you're positive or negative, that can flip on a dime. I think 6-1 would be hard to do. If you said they were going to go 4-3, 3-4 in 1-score games, okay. I mean, I have them at 9-3. I can be talked into 8-4. I think 7-5 is their floor.
I go back and forth with this team because I think Willie Fritz, like that's a really good coach, but Connor Wegman is their quarterback.
Well,
I'm not a Connor Wegman guy.
Just hold that thought. Let me walk you through this schedule and tell me if you feel the same way. So weeks 1 and 2, both at home, Oregon State and Southern.
Okay.
They go to Tech, it's a loss.
Loss.
They go to Georgia Southern, it's a win. UCF at home is a win. At Kansas State, loss. Oklahoma State at home, win.
Yeah, that's going to be again. I've said that with Oklahoma State. That is a telling game for the season.
At Utah is a loss.
So already we're at 3, possibly 4.
Then they have their bye. Their last 4 games they should roll. Cincinnati, at Colorado, at West Virginia, Baylor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I think you're half and half.
Yeah.
I think you're half talent, and I think you're half product of your schedule.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
It will be. Number 3, at 10-2 of Utah.
You are high on Utah.
I have their 2 losses as BYU and at TCU.
They're definitely losing to BYU. What does their schedule look like?
They play Idaho at home, Arkansas at home.
I as low as I am about Arkansas, early in the season, maybe sneaky.
Utah State at home.
Win.
At Iowa State.
Win.
Into the bye. Kansas at home.
Win.
At Colorado.
Win.
Houston at home.
Maybe.
At Cincinnati.
Win.
BYU at home is a loss. At Arizona they win.
Maybe.
At TCU they lose.
That's a tough 3-game stretch right
It
there.
is. So I could be talked into 9-3.
Especially when, yes, BYU is being played in Salt Lake. That's still not necessarily a massive home advantage,
No.
especially in that game.
And then West Virginia at home to finish out the year.
Yeah. You can talk me into, however, 1, 2, 3, 4 losses.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You can talk me into 4.
I think I could be talked into 3. I don't know that I could be talked into 4.
8.5 is their win total. So
okay.
we're hovering over.
Yeah, okay.
It's like pick your poison. For me, if you were a gambling man, whichever one has a better juiced odds.
Yeah. Number 2 at 11-1, BYU.
Yeah.
Only losses to Notre Dame.
Yes.
They are running the gambit over everyone else.
Yeah.
Utah Tech, I didn't know that was a school. Arizona, Colorado State will be a killing.
They're gonna be miles and miles ahead of everyone else except for one team.
TCU, Iowa State, UCF, Arizona, Utah, Baylor, Kansas, and Cincinnati.
Yeah. Bear Bachmeier back as their quarterback. I'm not a big Bear Bachmeier guy, but comparative to the other talented teams around him, I think he can do just enough to keep that ship afloat. So
before I get to my number 1, I need to amend something I said earlier. I said Penn State had the easiest schedule in college football.
Texas Tech has the easiest.
I
hate it.
Texas Tech, who I have to put at number 1 as a product of their schedule at literally 12-0. Because, I know you've seen it, but I'm just going to read it. I'm not even going to give you home or away. I'm just going to read the opponents. Abilene Christian, Oregon State, Houston, Sam Houston, Colorado, Arizona State, Cincinnati, Arizona, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Baylor, TCU.
So they miss Utah, BYU. They play Houston. You said TCU is on there?
Yep, they play TCU. They play Cincinnati. They play Oklahoma State.
So their 2 hardest games
are Houston and
TCU and maybe Arizona State.
I wouldn't even give them Arizona State.
Yeah, no, disgusting. But again, this is what he wants. This is what Joey McGuire wants. He wants an easy schedule with his loaded team funded by Cody Campbell so they can sneak in the playoff and then just get there are so many words that I want to say about that game against Oregon last year.
But hear me out. What if that doesn't happen?
It will happen.
But listen to me. What if they lose in the Big 12 championship to BYU?
They're not losing to BYU. They're not losing to BYU.
They could.
They could. They won't.
Okay, but they could.
But they won't.
Fine. Anyway, that sucks. But I'm happy for y'all because I do think y'all are going to be much, much better.
We have to be.
No, technically you could be one game worse.
If that happens, shut down the program.
Okay. Just pull a UAB and then come back later. I am excited for BYU.
I think you might be the first person to ever say that now. That's not part of a certain religion.
No, because I thought Jim McMahon played for BYU.
Were we alive for that?
We weren't, but the people that were alive then were excited for it.
Were they part of a certain demographic?
Not all of them. Do you know who Jim McMahon is?
Yeah.
No, not all of them.
Well, I mean, okay, whatever.
Anyway.
I forget Steve Young went there.
Steve Young, like the quarterback for the Niners?
Yeah. He's a descendant of Brigham Young.
Don't know that I knew that.
Yeah. More you know.
The descendant thing. I remember now that you've said it. That he went there.
The more you know.
I am high on Cincinnati. I do think Cincinnati's going to play really well.
Is the Big 12 just a smaller version of the SEC? Meaning you got your dog crap teams, you got 2 teams that are head and shoulders above everyone else, and then you got a bunch of teams that could be absolute bad or wow, they're pretty good?
I think yes, but the proportions are different. I think you have more dog shit teams, less middle of the road teams, and then the same 2 to 4 top teams. Okay. So in my Big 12 championship, I have Texas Tech and BYU. And I know you said Texas Tech's going to win. I would like to think BYU is going to win, but I can also see Texas Tech winning. That's the Power Four. Do you have any care to talk about Conference USA, Pac-12? You want to run through Notre Dame?
I'll touch on two. So one of them, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going undefeated. I firmly believe that. They are going to have some interesting games along the way, but they're going to go undefeated. I think CJ Carr is going to be the best quarterback in
college football,
except for one, which we can talk about later.
Yeah.
But I think top to bottom, they're the best team. And I think having gone through the gauntlet of 2024 of making it to the playoff and the championship game, I think that's all the confidence that Marcus Freeman needs to take them over the top.
I have all the confidence in the world in Marcus Freeman. If you told me, which I think is basically what you did just tell me, Notre Dame's going and winning the national championship, I'd totally buy it.
I think also they have the luxury of a lot of their big games being towards the end of the year, so where they can just load up into that. You have BYU later on. You have Miami in November.
You actually have BYU in the middle of the season. It's week 7.
Week 7. Okay, so perfect. You got 6 weeks to get ready for that. You go into Provo, which could be difficult. I do think they come out on top. And then you have Navy, which is going to be no walk in the park. That's the other team I want to talk about. And then Miami. Your season is going to be determined by Miami.
I was so pissed at them last year.
Mm-hmm.
Not for the Miami game. For the fact that they couldn't freaking beat A&M.
That awful A&M team. God, what a joke.
A&M's always a joke.
It's a funny joke.
They had one player put the whole school on the map, and they've been writing that ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Von Miller? Yes, I know what you're talking about. Ryan Tannehill, obviously.
Oh, my.
Yes. Mike Evans. Johnson.
I'm going to lose on you. Stop naming A&M players.
Okay, fine. Yes, Johnny Football.
Thank you.
So you won't blow a gasket. God dang. Yeah, the other team I want to mention is Navy. I have them as my non-power team to make it. I do think they're the favorite to win the American, which will probably end up being the best conference, not Power 4.
If Navy gets in, I want them to run either the Power Eye or the Wishbone down every other team's throat.
The way it's set up here, I'm so glad you mentioned that. There is a possibility that Texas would play Navy in the first game.
If that happens, they still should do it.
Do you support the troops or do you support Texas?
Both. I literally just said they should run.
Yeah, but you don't want them to win. So are you supporting the troops or are you supporting supporting Texas?
Both.
That's a cop-out.
I can root for a good college football game. How about that?
Well, it's pretty communist of you. All right, so real quick here.
You're just gonna sneak that one in there, and then we're just gonna move on.
Hell yeah!
All right.
You got a Heisman pick?
Yeah, I've got a few. I'm not a communist. I'm not letting you get away with that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I've got a few. Do you?
I have one.
I was gonna say you said pick like you have one and like that's it.
So I like to think I have who's probably going to win, the one that is my dark horse, and then the one that I want to win. But this year, I'm putting 95% of my chips on the table for this one person.
Okay. Who? Okay, give me your dark horse first because I think I know who it is.
Keelan Russell.
I was gonna say, but he has to win the starting job first.
Yes, which I firmly believe he will.
Okay.
Keelan Russell.
Okay. This isn't a dark horse. This is a long shot. Okay, because I don't know if it's ever happened in the history of the Heisman Trophy, but I'm going to give you a defensive player.
Okay.
If, and this is a very strong if, but I believe he has the talent to do it. If Colin Simmons not only wakes up and comes alive, but is a game wrecker in every single game that they play, and that defense holds every opponent to 30 or under, I could see him being a finalist. I don't think they'd give it to him, but I could see him being a finalist.
I think he has a better shot of being the first overall pick than he does a Heisman finalist.
And that's totally valid.
And yeah. Which
but
it would be
like I said, long shot. Like a lot of things would have to happen.
Yeah.
But I do think he does have a really good shot to be the first overall pick. I really do think that.
Yeah, I think I would say he would have a better shot of getting drafted. I don't think it's crazy to say he'd be drafted higher than Arch.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
I don't think it'd be crazy.
I don't think Arch is going to declare. I think he's going to wait till 28.
Does Texas keep him because they have Dia Bell waiting in the wings, and they could always just go and get a transfer as well.
It depends on the outcome of this season, and I legitimately mean that. Because I think that's why Quinn Ewers went to the draft.
Yeah,
is because Sark was like, it's Arch's turn.
So I don't think they have that same anticipation as Dia Bell, even though they should, because Dia Bell's
I totally agree, because I think Dia Bell's going to be a great quarterback. But it's the name.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Unfortunately, that's what it is. It's the name. Now, I will tell you, because Cam Coleman's going to be a junior.
Yeah, he's going to the draft.
He's going to the draft.
Him and Wingo most likely are going to the draft.
So I don't see why. And I think, who's our left guard or left tackle? Trevor Gooseby. I think he's a
Brandon Baker.
Gooseby is what is he? Is he on the right side?
Maybe. Yeah.
Am I making that name up?
I don't know.
I'm almost positive. Anyway, it would make sense that if his weapons leave, Arch follows his weapons.
Yeah. I just think
if we win the national championship,
strike while the iron's hot.
If we win the national championship, we will go 7-5 next year. I legitimately mean that, because if we win the national championship,
everyone's leaving.
Everyone will leave.
Here's the thing: I think everyone's leaving regardless.
Really?
Colin Simmons, Cam Coleman, Ryan Wingo, Godsby's already leaving. I think his name is Godsby.
Oh, okay.
I mean Smothers, Rakai Brown, or
really Brown. Are they both? What are they, juniors?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, if we win the national championship, there will be more that go.
Yeah.
Because there's some no-name safety or linebacker, whatever, that probably should play through a senior year, kind of like Taft did.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like, oh, we just won the national championship. I have the eyes are on us. I'm going.
Especially one that made a play or two.
Absolutely.
Kind of like a Keontae Scott type.
Yes. You get if Texas wins the national championship, and in the national championship, you get Colin Simmons gets 2 sacks, a safety comes up and gets a sack, a corner gets a pick, like our defense gutted.
Yeah.
If Arch Manning has to make some kind of crazy throw to Cam Coleman, but we're on our side of the 50 on the 45, he's got to heave it to the end zone. Cam makes a move, is gone, but Arch has to wait for him to get down there, so the offensive line has to protect. Arch is gone. 3/5 of the offensive line is gone. Cam Coleman's gone. Like, I'm telling you, and this is in no way am I saying, oh, Texas is going to go win the national championship. I am saying we have so much talent, we are fixing to lose it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. But kind of back to the Heisman moment here. So who would you have as your Heisman?
Julian saying.
Julian Sand. Okay. You don't think, playing devil's advocate here, you don't think if he has a good year, that probably means Jeremiah Smith has a good year.
I agree, but think back to our last episode.
Yeah.
When we talked about Ohio State, the receiver core that Ohio State has, Julian Sayin has so many options.
Yeah.
It's not like it's Jeremiah Smith and then 3 warm bodies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Chris Henry Jr., Brock Boyd, Brandon Ennis.
Right.
All.
So like it's not I'm in no means trying to say that Jeremiah Smith is not good enough to win it, but he has
or steal votes.
Correct. But he has more players around him that are of a similar caliber that one single person gets to throw to all of them. That's why I would say Julian Sand.
Yeah. I also think in that conference there's so many. I do think he's going to be miles better than what he was last year.
Oh, absolutely.
But you still have like Dante Moore in that conference. You still have, Hoover might take that next step.
Yeah.
But I think there's a quarterback in that conference. For me, if you take a look at the progression that he's made, the progression his team is about to make.
Is Lincoln Riley his coach?
His coach is known for getting Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks. And that guy, yes, is Lincoln Riley.
Jaden
Mayava is my Heisman Trophy pick. He threw for 3,700 yards last year, a team that was pretty decent last year.
They were fine.
I think they're about to take the next step, and he is going to be a massive, massive piece of that.
You want to give me a Final Four?
Yes. I have Oregon. I have Notre Dame. I have Texas, and I have LSU. And neither of the SEC teams are going to play for the championship.
No Miami.
No.
That's interesting.
No. I think Miami stumbles somewhere along the line. Maybe Oregon gets them. Maybe Texas gets them.
Early. Let me just... Early as in, like, what they did at the end of the regular season last year and, like, mess up getting into the championship, but they still get into the playoff.
Yes, they're going to be in the playoff.
If they stumble there, do you think they can then correct and get to the Final Four?
Maybe. I think those 4 teams, though, are better or might work their way up and just be a better matchup, possibly.
Okay.
But my final is Oregon Notre Dame. And I have Notre Dame winning.
With Notre Dame winning it?
Yep, Notre Dame's going to be the undefeated champion.
Okay.
CJ Carr is the favorite to win the Heisman.
So
I can see that happening.
We're going to get 2 undefeated champions in a row.
Yeah.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah. 2 different ones and 2 that are first-time winning head coaches.
That's really sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I do believe it will be Notre Dame.
That's really sick.
I'm also going at this as a team that hasn't won it before. Is it a popular pick? A little bit, but also it's not Ohio State. It's not Indiana repeat. It's not Georgia. It's not the biggest name schools. Notre Dame is the biggest name of them all, but it's not like
No,
they've won anything recently.
I get it.
So for me, and it's not Texas either. Yeah, I do think Texas makes the Final Four, but I think just the level of an Oregon or
I
Notre Dame
think
is
we can.
above
I
them.
think we are good enough to make the Final Four. Let me just tell you, if we play Oregon,
You're losing.
it's gonna be like a Arizona State game 2 years ago.
I think it's going to be more like the Ohio State when you're driving when you played in the playoff. You're driving to tie the game, and then just the talent
strip
on
sack.
the talent on Oregon's defense just
Stops
smothers
it.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think y'all are matched up pretty evenly in many areas, but I do think
Oregon has the edge.
Way more talented on defense.
I have a friend who was a Nebraska fan. If Dylan Raiola, like, he doesn't have to be the starting quarterback, just if Dylan Raiola is on a team that goes to the national championship, he's going to lose his shit.
He burned a lot of bridges.
He burned a lot of bridges.
And he's going to probably end up transferring again. Here's the thing.
Where?
Here's the thing. He is one of those. He's one of those people. He went to 4 different high schools in 4 different years. 4 years.
How does that work?
Just travels to different states.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like when he was committed to Georgia, he moved to played at Buford, and then flipped his commitment there. Like, he's a kind of guy who just wants to be loved and shown the love, but doesn't want to actually put in the work to be loved. That's fact.
Yeah,
it's fact. I mean, let's call it what it is. So he's played on now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different schools in 7 years, 7, 8 years.
That's
not
disgusting.
To mention his commitments to Ohio State, to Georgia, to Nebraska, and now to Oregon. Like, again, if I'm an NFL team and I see, you can't even sit still to play at a school,
yeah,
forget it.
Yeah.
So I would bet he transfers again, because if Dan Lanning will probably just get another person in there.
Who's your last one in?
USC. It was between them and SMU. You can also talk me into Alabama, because the love for Alabama and the love that the committee and ESPN is going to try to lobby for Alabama to get in there. I think Jaden Maiava, though, and USC might just be good enough to flip that. Fair enough.
Can I talk you into a first one out, ends the season with a bowl win, ranked in the top 15 Boise State team?
Maybe. I think, though, Navy is going to have... It's all about who you... For these smaller schools, it's all about who you play in the power conferences.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes in those situations, the better team that you lose to is just going to help propel you.
Yeah.
And I know this team is not going to be projected not to be good in their conference, but East Carolina might be a fun one to look at.
Okay. Like ECU, like the Pirates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, they play some really hard... I think they play like Alabama. But I will say, if you're a sicko degenerate, they're going to have an incredible offense and a terrible defense, so overs might be fun.
Let me just tell you, I'm going to follow North Texas again this year.
So sorry.
Because I just want to see what happens. It's like, as a Texas fan, like you grew up in the Metroplex, I'm sure you have some of these feelings. It's like North Texas is like everyone's little baby cousin. Like you want to see them do well.
No.
Really?
Yeah, no, don't care about them.
Is it just because of the shit that they were talking because you took all of their players? Or
no, just never really cared about them.
Just like at all?
Yeah, no. Never thought of them as real football.
You had to care about them a little whenever they played at Fouts Field.
No.
Really?
Yeah, no, never cared. Not once.
Do you have those feelings towards any other team? Like a Texas State or like a Tarleton or...
I mean, Tarleton's now real football, so I guess.
Well, but like, or like a Tulsa, or like a
No, I don't care about Tulsa in the South. I don't care if they're good. I don't care if they're bad.
like a Memphis, or like a
No.
one. There's just no tiny school.
No.
You're just like, oh, I hope you do well.
I do feel that way about, strangely enough, Ohio.
The Bobcats.
The Bobcats.
Okay.
Maybe it's just because I just love watching Maction in November.
That's
it's
fair.
like, oh, that's cool.
Will you consider it now that North Dakota State is becoming FBS?
I will. They are a fun favorite for people to throw in the playoff. And it took a lot out of me not to choose them, but they don't play anybody.
They don't.
In the Power Four.
And I don't know why they're so much more beloved than what Delaware is.
Well,
just because,
I mean, Delaware.
Well, okay, yes, no, I understand that, but I'm just talking about like new to FBS schools, new kid on the block.
Because North Dakota State was so dominant
in FCS,
and also they would just mess around and beat a FBS team every now and then.
That is true.
They've developed household names in the NFL.
That is true.
So I mean, I can see it that way. I mean, not saying that Delaware hasn't, Joe Flacco,
right?
But they're constantly winning stuff. So
that's fair. All right, let's get out of here.
We did it. We did it. We talked y'all's ears off. Woohoo!
Thank you guys so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you made it this far, seriously, thank you. We really do appreciate it. As always, please leave a comment. What you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see more of, what you don't want to see at all. It really does help us write the episodes, so we really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. We love doing this stuff, and so we're going to keep doing it, and we appreciate you all for listening. So, as always, I'm Matt.
I'm Ryan.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hail Jeff.